Hello everyone, so this is Michelle again, and it has been quite some time since the last time I posted a video because I was really busy with moving. And as you can see here in the background, I have some suitcases, some cartons in the background because I'm moving soon and I'm actually quite excited. As you all know, I am working here in the countryside here in Germany. So it's located in Altenburg, so it's actually on the Saxon part, Bundesland. So we call it Bundesland. In English, we call it like regions. And I'm also on the east side. So is also a nice place. I could say Dresden is like the capital of Saxon. It's really beautiful. There are a lot of places you could go to and you could really enjoy a lot. So, um, yeah, I'm moving soon and I'm gonna go to Berlin. So in this video, we're going to talk about how to find an apartment in Germany. So in my TikTok account, I have already told you there that it's actually quite difficult to find an apartment here in Germany, especially in big cities. So I would suggest that if you were to transfer to big cities, like for example in Frankfurt, Munich, Berlin, Hamburg, Cologne, etc. So I would suggest that you find an apartment most probably 1 to 3 months before you move in, and please take into account also the months that you're going to move because if for example that city has a lot of universities, some students would also opt to book an apartment in certain months, like for example in June, July, August. So on those months, apartment rates are actually quite really expensive because of the demand that we have. So because you're not just competing as an employee, you would have to compete with some students as well in finding an apartment. Okay, so how how could you find an apartment in Germany then? There are actually internet sites wherein you can find an apartment, but then again, it's also quite difficult to find a good apartment which is really near your workplace because some of these are actually more expensive. So take note of those kind of things, and also bear in mind before you find an apartment, you also have to list down the criteria of an apartment that you would like to get. Like for example, if you want to just have a one room, two rooms, a kitchen, a balcony, und so weiter, or etc. So as for me, I'm gonna be moving with my husband, so a one room is already okay. But if you have, for example, a child, a small child most probably, then it's still okay also to have one room apartment. But if your child is already old, like I think, I'm not sure with the age, please check me with this one because I'm not really sure with the age we're in. The child has to have a room here in Germany already. But if in that case, if you have a child and he or she needs a room, then you would need to find a 2 bedroom apartment instead, because again, it's a requirement. So what are the websites that you can use to find an apartment? So the main application that I used is actually Emo Scout. I'm just gonna post it here. So Emo Scout or the Emo Welt, and I'm just gonna be posting it here again. So these two main applications are actually the application that most people use here in Germany to find an apartment, because again, there are so many options that you can get, and um, there are also some apartments that already have some mobile. We call it mobile or furniture. Okay, so that means you won't have to bother yourself from buying a sofa like this, a fancy one, or a TV or anything, because they already have all those stuff in an apartment. So take note of that. And also, before you buy, or sorry, not buy, before you find your own apartment, you also have to take note of your budget, because like I said, there are many apartments that are really expensive. So if you need to stick onto your budget, of course, and check on how near or far that apartment is from your workplace. Okay, so another website that people use is that I have heard and I've also checked is Wunderflats. Wunderflats. You can check it here. I'll just share the website or share it here. So Wunderflats, and I've also read some reviews about this site, and it's actually quite nice as well. So it's also a nice website that you can check onto. And there are also many websites as well. There are actually Facebook groups wherein you can also check apartment availabilities, because I have joined this group wherein a group of people finding an apartment in Berlin in Facebook, and there are also some available apartments there. But of course, beware also of scammers, because there are many scammers that you might meet in social media anywhere, and I'm pretty sure of that. So please be careful and check their eligibilities, check all legalities if possible. Don't sign a contract without even checking if that person is really a person or just a scammer. Okay, so now the last website or application that I used is Habyt, Habyt. So I was really lucky because there was this Filipino agent who helped me a lot, who was really responsive to my questions. Shout out to Miss Michelle Sia. I am really thankful that you are very responsive to all my questions, even though sometimes they are just like out of the blue questions, and I really appreciate your patience in answering all my questions. So Habyt is actually a real estate company, international company. It's not just for Germany but also for some other countries. So you can book your stay not just in Germany but also in the USA, in some other countries as well. So you can check out the application, just download it, and you can check some shared apartments and also private apartments. So with Habyt, I got a private apartment, and I think I really got a good apartment with them, because the apartment is just around 11 minutes away by bus going to my workplace. So it's really nice, and I can also use a scooter. So my husband is actually requesting me as well to buy a scooter someday, because I'm gonna be using it someday, as like what he told me. And I think it's really useful, because if you go to Berlin, people use scooter as well, and it's really handy. You can even fold it, and it's actually quite fast. You can have your own time, because if you ride a bus, for example, you really need to stick to the time, because if not, then the bus would just go long, and then sometimes you cannot ride the bus anymore because it already went away, for example. So there are sometimes that I've experienced that here in the outskirts of town. So but anyways, In Berlin, transportation is really nice. We have trams, U-Bahns, um, bus, S-Bahns, Regiobahns. So there are many kinds of transportations that you can choose from. So transportation system would never be a problem if you go to Berlin. So why did I choose Berlin? Then maybe we'll make another vlog for that. This time we'll just focus on the apartment. So if, for example, you have already found an apartment that you really like, then you can reserve it. So take note that you also have to pay for caution. So caution is sometimes 1 month or 1 to 2 months deposit. So you really need to save money for that, aside from the monthly rent that you will have to pay. I won't disclose the amount of the apartment that I have reserved, but it's actually 1,000 plus. So it's in Berlin Mitte, and I think that's again a good Angebot finish. So it's a good sale for me, I think, because that's new and it's also located in Berlin Mitte. So again, good luck guys in finding your new apartment, and I really hope that I have helped you as well in on how to find an apartment in Germany. Okay, so have fun. Goodbye.